Zombies and ghouls, welcome to another episode of The Vlogging Dead. Tonight's episode, I didn't really get a lot of good reactions, and last week I was yelling and it was really horrible. The first 2 minutes of last week's Vlogging Dead was horrible, so I apologize for that. We're not going to do that this week. We might next week if we get some good reactions. Watch the episode. This is totally spoiler alert, so you need to watch the episode and then come watch this. So when this episode starts out, we start to see a little bit of backstory, and originally when I started watching the episode I'm like, oh no, all I want to see is why the horn is honking and what's happening with the big horde of walkers. So we get a little bit of Enid's backstory, just with her and the way that her parents died, and that she was one of the only ones that we know of, or that I know of or can remember, that are one of the members of Alexandria that has been on the outside and knows what it's like out there. Even if it was only for a couple weeks, her survival instincts still, kicked in. And I think that we're going to see a little bit more from her in the future, developed a little bit more. So with her and the whole JSS that she's been, putting on, 2 car windows and, oh, there's another thing. Oh, in the dirt. We find out what that means at the end of the episode by the note that she writes Carl, because remember Carl said, don't say goodbye to me, and well, she didn't say goodbye, she just said, just survive somehow, and put it on a note, so Carl knows that she's gone. And I realized I just jumped to the end of the episode, but we're trying to keep Enid all in this nice little package. Apparently Carl's obviously a little bit upset of seeing him, and I forget his name, sorry, but the other boy together, so that's kind of upsetting to Carl, because he's like, hey man, I thought we had that tree time and we were doing all good and stuff, and then now you're going out with this other guy, and she ends up leaving with him too, so that really kind of sucks. So talk about action-packed, talk about gory. This episode was fantastic for that, and it was all done in pretty much real time. So for the time when Carol sets the timer, at the very beginning when she puts in her casserole and, starts to look out the window and sees, the smoking lady, basically, apparently cigarettes didn't kill her anyway, she just got killed by a wolf. Just seeing that, I mean, you see her smoking and exactly, you think that Carol's gonna go out and say something to her like, oh god, you're smoking or whatever, but no, she gets killed. And then it just starts happening. People are getting sliced and diced all over the place. The wolves are kicking some major ass. And then we see Carol assume the role, and then the play between her and Morgan. And Morgan's like, I don't want to kill anybody. And she's like, you need to kill people. And it's like, this total conflict. And even at the end, after all the wolves have either been killed or gone away, her and Morgan just kind of walk past each other. I'm not sure if that was symbolic of, you were right, and I just don't want to say anything, or you suck. So I don't know if there's tension still created there or not. I don't want to do the same thing that I did last time and totally space something and make myself seem totally oh, you weren't watching, and well, I was watching. I just have a bad memory for the past. So with Morgan, he knew some of the wolves, correct? See, I should have watched the episodes all over again. Bad host. Bad. We see Eugene come out a little bit too when Denise, the new doctor slash surgeon that, has panic attacks and doesn't want to do anything. The person sitting there on the table dying, and she doesn't want to do anything, and they're like, no, help her anyway. And, Eugene is telling her, don't be a coward. And for Eugene to say that, it gives kind of Eugene's having this revelation that he's kind of known for a while that, he is a coward. And he's trying to teach somebody else. It's kind of like calling the kettle black. Kind of, I think, a little bit. Do you believe Carol's philosophy in kill all of the wolves? Or do you believe in more of Morgan's original philosophy of we don't need to kill them? And do you feel that with the way that the end scene was shot, with Morgan saying sorry and going down, did he kill him, or did they just want us to believe that? I forgot to mention the fact that the timelines, that this is what was going on while, the main group was down taking care of the herd of freaking walkers, and we're going to see what's going to happen with that next week. But obviously they didn't have any, they were 2 totally separate groups doing 2 totally separate things, and the timelines are running parallel right now. So that's absolutely excellent. So we know about the horn, we know who did the horn and how the horn happened. So post your comments down below, post your questions down below, and I will continue to follow this for like the next couple days and kind of interact with you guys a little bit. Thumbs up, guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll see what happens next week. And I threw the paper on the ground for dramatic effect.
This is Vincent M. Ward, a.k.a. Oscar from The Walking Dead. Yo, happy haunting.